So, a US soldier has been arrested in Tanzania for crossing the border. Not crossing the border. He was arrested for what? For crossing the border with grenade. Yes, an American soldier crossing the border from Kenya to Tanzania on the Tanzanian side was arrested for carrying 5 grenades in his Land Cruiser. Crazy stuff. I mean, there are many questions. They're like, why is an American soldier with grenade crossing the border? What is the purpose? So we need to find out about this. I mean, these things go undercover and people don't pay attention to this. We need to ask a lot of questions like, what's happened to the US soldier? Is he still alive? He probably still alive. Now the question is, would he still be alive if he came from Zambia with grenade? Like, would he not have beat him up, like broke his jaw to tell the truth and stuff? Let's dive into this. What's happening, everybody? Hope you're doing good. Thank you very much for stopping by. I appreciate you. Let's go. So you can see the border. This is Tanzania. This is Kenya. Look at the map. Tanzania and Kenya. It's literally like one country. They're not one country, but they are brothers. Close borders, as you can see. Now, the U.S. Army sergeant identified by Tanzanian police as Charles Onkori Ongeta was arrested on November 16th while attempting to cross the border from Kenya to Tanzania. He was reportedly in possession of 4 CSM-68 and grenade inside a Toyota Land Cruiser. So he was driving a Land Cruiser, crossing the border, but he had 4 grenades in his Land Cruiser. The Tanzanian authority described him as a 30-year-old dual citizen, Kenya and US. So the guy is American Kenyan. So he probably was born in Kenya of Kenyan parents and moved to America. That's where you need to be to become American soldier, right? Okay, so he got training in America, became soldier, and he's of Kenyan descent. Now, can that justify his presence in Kenya? Yes, it makes sense. If you are Kenyan born, you live in America, you're a soldier, you could get vacation to go visit your family, right? I'm sure you can do that. Or else you could be allocated to Kenya to work for the US Army. Now the question is, was he working for the US in Kenya, or was he in Kenya as a visitor visiting his family? Because that makes a lot of difference. Okay? Like, if he was visiting his family and he was on vacation, how did he get the grenade? Who gave him the grenade? Is this logic? Official grenade? Or was he working for the US? If he was working for the US, how did he get the grenade? Why was he authorized to have the grenade to cross to Tanzania? That's another question. You know what I mean? So let's go into this. The US Army confirmed that a soldier had been arrested but did not provide details about his identity or circumstances. A spokesperson of the US Army Europe and Africa, Terry L. Welsh, stated the soldier was traveling with his family members to visit relatives in Tanzania. So the soldier was traveling with his family members visiting relatives in Tanzania. As you can see again, look at the map. This is Kenya, this is Tanzania. So it's not unheard of that a Kenyan or Kenyan family living in Tanzania or a Tanzanian family in Kenya, they speak the same language, Swahili. So it's like a South African moving to Botswana or a Botswana moving to South Africa. You can barely tell the difference. Same for Lesotho people or Eswatini people, you know. So Kenya and Tanzania is very similar. Now, he was leaving Kenya with his family in a car traveling to Tanzania. Now the question again is, why did he have grenade? What was the grenade for? Now, this is very important because it's a very sensitive moment in Tanzania. Tanzania just experienced a major unrest after political culprits and difficulties. Many people were unalive, as per the report, and it's been mayhem. Now, with that being said, seeing somebody who was born in Kenya or of Kenyan parents working for the US, trying to traverse the border with grenade in the van raises many questions. You can understand why the Tanzanians could be very apprehensive about the situation. What was he coming to Tanzania with the grenade for? Number one question, was he in Kenya as a visitor of his family on vacation, or was he in Kenya as a US military stationed in Kenya for military purpose? Those are two different things. Because if he was in Kenya as a visitor, where did he get the grenade from? Okay, now if he was in Kenya as a US soldier, why did he have the grenade in his car crossing into Tanzania? Now the other question is, how did he pass the Kenyan side because the border is Kenyan side and Tanzania side. This is for every country you go to, right? If it's bordering countries, you see the South African side, the Botswana side. You see the Rwanda side, the Congo side, right? You see the Uganda side, the Kenya side. Same for this. It's Kenya and Tanzania. So how did he pass the Kenyan side with a grenade in his car? Was it by mistake? They just didn't pay attention? Or what? Something else? Or planned? Question mark. Now, in Tanzania, it was stopped. You know, in most cases, when they want to do you wrong, they will send people that look just like you. You know that, right? Let me give you an example. If Canada want to do an operation in India, they won't send a white Canadian. They will send an Indian Canadian because, or maybe a Pakistani Canadian, because they look the same. That's where it comes from. If America want to do something in Iraq, they're not going to use a black American. They're probably going to find an Arab American to go to. I'm not saying this is the case. I'm just saying, how did they pass the Kenyan side of the border with grenade? How did he get the grenade? Now, what grenade are these ones? Number one. Let's see, which grenade? The guy was in possession of CSM-68 hand grenade in his car. What grenade are these ones? Well, these grenades are commonly used for training purpose or riot control. The grenade purpose is used for crowd dispersal, to break the crowd. It causes burning eyes, coughing, difficulty breathing, skin irritation, and many other things, vomiting. Now, this is not necessarily a war grenade that will explode the house, but is this still acceptable? Now, let's see what are the questions that people could ask themselves in this situation. Why would Tanzania be suspicious of this situation? Carrying grenade across border could suggest intent to sell or deliver them to non-state actors. It's a possibility. Now, this obviously the government wouldn't like. Is this the reason why he went there for? Question mark. Number two. Well, in a politically tense Tanzania right now, authorities might suspect that he was perhaps involved in intelligence or destabilization efforts, especially since the government has accused the foreigners of inciting unrest. Remember, Samia Suluhu said a lot of foreigners have been doing negative things. Is this confirming what she said, or could this confirm what she said?
You have started to see a trend or movement of activists within our region here, trying to invade and interfere with our affairs. Now, if they have already been contained in their own countries, they shouldn't come here to ruin things for us. Let's not give them any opportunity. They already ruined things in their own countries. They already caused chaos there. The only country left is the one that hasn't been ruined. People have security, and peace and stability are found here with us. There have been several attempts. I strongly urge the defense and security forces, as well as you who oversee our foreign policies, not to give any room.
This person perhaps, maybe he could have just been transporting them to relative for self-defense, though this will still be illegal and dangerous. Like, why would you send grenades, crowd control grenades to your family members for protection? It makes no sense. Whether it is for you to sell or give it to people that are not necessarily from the government, it's illegal. Maybe it's for you for self-protection, it is illegal to do so. Maybe it's for you to destabilize the country intention, it is illegal. Maybe it's for you to give it to your family members, it's still illegal. Now, the other option is maybe you forgot it in your car whilst you were doing training in Kenya. Well, for that situation, then you need to confirm that you were actually in Kenya as a military doing training. Okay? And then during training, maybe you forgot to leave it and you forgot it in a car and you used the same car going to Tanzania. Now, if you are a military from America stationed in Kenya crossing in Tanzania, shouldn't you tell the Tanzanian government that I'm an American Kenyan crossing into your country because you're still a soldier? Or not? Let me know how you feel about this. It was a great pleasure. God bless.